proof. This is proof that Yo Gotti blood sacrifice Big Juke. Now I know a lot of people is immediately gonna disagree and say, "Hey, why is this person? Why does people continue trying to say that these people are blood sacrifice people?" It's all too similar to a lot of other situations that we've seen already happen. A lot like King Vaughn, and a lot like this Big Juke situation. So Big Juke is a part of the collective music group, which is young Yo Gotti's group, right? Now tell me how Yo Gotti has these artists underneath it: Moneybag Yo, Black Youngster, Black Boy JB, Glorilla, 42 Dugg, ESTG, Mozzie, right, and others, right? Now the distributor is Interscope Records, right? This is all gonna make sense at the end of this. Now keep in mind Collective Music Group, CMG, right? They're under the branch Interscope. So think of them as Interscope or Empire, right? Now we're gonna go to the OTF, which is under the Lil Durk's branch. The Lil Durk branch OTF is the distributor, or the distribution was originally cooperating with Empire Distribution and Interscope Records, right? So look at that, Interscope Records, and then if we look at Collective Music Group Distributors, Interscope Records. Now just think about this. 9 times out of 10 is not the artist that has to do this. A lot of times, the artists don't even know about this, but the record labels most likely know about this because they could recoup on the death. It's hard to explain, but this is my theory, right? But this is the proof. I'm looking at the OTF label, right? It originally was part of French Montana's Coke Boy, and it was adopted by OTF Coke Boy, and it was a feature of a subsequent Coke Boys album, right? So it shows that the imprint, and nowadays is cooperating with the Empire Distribution, except for Lil Durk, who signed Alomo Records and Interscope Records. So Lil Durk signed there in 2008. After being released from his Def Jam Records, he then signed with Sony Music. Now, Sony Music is also tied into Empire, right? Now, if you look at King Vaughn record label is what? Empire Distribution. King Vaughn was also signed to who? Lil Durk's record label OTF and Empire Distribution. Right. Now, this is a part of my claim that I'm tying this into the Big Juke situation because they're tied to an artist, and the artist is a big artist. And that Def will indeed promote the artist that's under his branch, which is Moneybag Yo, Black Youngster, Black Boy JB, Glorilla. These are the most popular ones right now. 42 Dugg, ESTG. These are very popular artists right now. Now, sacrifices have to go on in order for these other artists to get super duper popular and Yo Gotti to get all the fame. Everybody around him is dying, just like Lil Durk. Everybody around him is dying, but somehow he doesn't. Now, look at what this guy has said. This is somebody that's a part of I guess, the opposite group. This is all Memphis stuff. So I'm just listening to what Memphis people are saying. This isn't really my opinion. This is kind of just me gathering thoughts. So now, he said this about the blood sac. Well, he said this about Big Juke, right? And Big Juke allegedly trying to pay off to get young Dolph killed, right? So look at what he said.
Bro. When I heard that little boy Trey say, "Man, I miss my dad, mom." When I heard that f***ed me up, bro. That f***ed me up. And keep in mind, I said if I see Jook, if I see Gotti, if I see Migo, or if I see Youngster, I'ma get on that. This ain't got nothing to do with nobody else, bro. I said if I see them folk, because these folk had something to do with it, bro.
See, that's what they're saying. A lot of people are saying it specifically in this situation that those two specifically have a lot to do with it. But for me, I'm always going to point at the captain because he's the one that's alive.
These folk niggas don't know that Jook put a hit out, bro. Don't know this. You know what I'm saying? But nah, all that, bro. I need to say that. Niggas don't say that. I ain't gonna tell the truth, bro. Nigga ain't say, man, hey, bro, how you gonna feel if a nigga told you, hey, man, look, bro, my Jook put a $40,000 hit on you, bro? Like, man, come on.
Come on, that's really hurt. That's hurt. Like, imagine if 40,000 was put on your head. That's young Dolph. And they already have beef. The young Dolph and Yo Gotti, they have beef. And the beef is prolonging for a very, 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 very long time. right? Let's see right here. I think I have this one.
A decade in prison. You heard
Charlotte.
about it? The
I ain't
100
talking about.
shots.
See, I ain't heard about it.
Oh yeah.
I really don't even give a damn about it. Like, tell you the truth.
100 shots fired close to sea to escape.
100 shots, right? Now this all ties in because that, like, it's like a branch. It's hard to explain, but it all ties in with each other because the industry is like a giant umbrella, and they all work together to all make money. It's hard to explain, but each one of these artists that's involved in this, that dead or alive, or it's benefiting through the blood sacrifice that Yo Gotti is making. But also, it's like it's some underneath. The thing is, they promote the street stuff. The street stuff is already there. I already know, and we already know that there's actually street beef there. But what the label do is they promote it and they big it up, and they'll never try to make them settle down, like try to make them find a conclusion or a solution. They'll just make them both rich and continue to make them go at each other because that's what's going to make them profit. But they're going to edge them or force somehow, some way, force one of them or both of them to go away. It's a tactic that they've been doing ever since Biggie and Pac. Whether it's not done by, whether it's like it's hard to explain, but it's like there's no proof that the labels is doing it, but it's hard to explain. They have puppets, right? And that's how a lot of these puppets stay alive. Like Diddy stays alive, but he's in the same car with Big. How is that possible? You're in the same car with him, but Biggie goes and you stay alive. That reminds me of the Yo Gotti situation. How are you at the funeral with Big Juke? And I know they're trying to target both of y'all, but no, Big Juke is the one that goes. And according to what I've gathered, everybody likes Big Juke more than Yo Gotti in the streets a little bit. He's more respected. I feel like a lot of people have been saying Yo Gotti is not what people really think that he is, right?
Saturday night on one side of
All them little niggas, they shrimps. You know what I mean? Like, they shrimps. Every last one of them put together, like, you can't compete, you can't win, you can't stop me. Y'all shrimps.
Well, that's what Young Dolph had to say about them. Young Dolph must have known something about that group because he puts them all together. It's not just Yo Gotti, it's also a Black Youngster, but these are all people signed under who? That's who I'm targeting. That's who I'm talking about. The person that signed. You see, the original thing I'm talking about right here is this: Moneybag Yo, Black Youngster, right? The Black Youngster is signed to Yo Gotti, right? So these are all under his record label, and his record label is going to continue to grow, but it's backed and funded by other labels, right? I believe Rock Nation. There's a lot of other labels that's funding a lot of the stuff that's going on. So this is moments before Big Juke. This is he's in the funeral for his own funeral. It don't get no more Illuminati, no more ritualistic than that. You know what I'm saying? It's just different tactics. They're not all going to be the same. There's no way they're going to be the same. But think about this, because sometimes the best way to hide the truth is in your face. So he's at a funeral, but it ends up being his own funeral, right? And he's with Yo Gotti. They attending something. It just doesn't really make sense. It's too loud. It's too many people. Like, why isn't there enough security? There's a lot of things you could put into play, but that's how I know it's a sacrifice because it doesn't make sense. When it doesn't make sense, and you have the main guy putting up symbols like this right here, which is a Freemason symbol, right, or Illuminati symbol, or just different types of symbols that you really know if you really do your research, these symbols are actual symbols that he has to do, right? And then he got his new prized possession, which is Glorilla, right? And that's what they're trying to do to promote their label, right? Because this is all about money at the end of the day, right? So this is one of the most craziest situations, and I know this is probably going to get a lot of hate. A lot of people's probably going to disagree, but it doesn't really matter to me if people disagree or not. Like, to me, this is just an observation that I've made based off of a lot of stuff that just doesn't add up when it comes to the music industry and people, family members dying or passing away. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like a lot of times it's like scripted, and a lot of times it's like it's for the bigger purpose, which is to make millions and millions off of their pre-life, and they're always going to be signed to the label, right? So if Yo Gotti signed Big Juke, or Big Juke assisted onto the label, right, a lot, which really wouldn't make sense because he's not an artist, I guess. I don't know, but he's affiliated with the label, so he's tied to the label. So you don't know what type of things, and also if they also did commit a crime together. If it's two people committed something, well, there's always going to be one person that's going to snitch. But if you off the one person that can possibly snitch, now you're possibly going to always get away, and it's always going to be your story against everybody else. But you heard what the guy said. You heard what this
I
guy
miss my
said.
dad. Me up, bro. That me up. And keep in mind, I said if I see Jook, if I see Gotti, if I see Migo, or if I see Youngster, I'ma get on that. This ain't got nothing to do with nobody else, bro. I said if I see them folk, because these folk had something to do with it, bro. These folk niggas don't know that Jook put a hit out, bro. Don't know this, you know.
People don't know. People don't know that a hit, but they're gonna blame Big Juke, right? But I honestly think it's Yo Gotti, because who's funding Big Juke? Big Juke is affiliated with Yo Gotti's collective music group, so you can't tell me that somehow, some way, that it's not somehow tied to Yo Gotti, right? Obviously it is, but then Big Juke's the one that goes, but Yo Gotti survives. But they both colluded or alluded allegedly to taking out Young Dolph. So now you add these beefs together. Who's profiting off of this the most? The record labels. That's why I'm pointing at Interscope, the distributor of the collective music group, and I'm also pointing at somehow Lil Durk for signing King Von under OTF and then getting him off basically, but they're somehow profiting and dropping the album like right after, and they're naming it something like King, like it's about King Von, obviously. So now you're gonna see something about Yo Gotti's group. One of these people is gonna make a post Metheus album, like basically directed towards Big Juke, like, oh, it's in remembrance to Big Juke. Like they're gonna try to make money off of it. It's hard to explain, but they're gonna put that in the title, and it's gonna be the album cover is gonna have something to do with it, or it's probably gonna be them two together. Like it's the same thing. But to me, that's just like a little gem. But I don't know. Just let me know what y'all think. Like, because I feel like this is a crazy, but needed different type of mindset in terms of looking at the news. I'm not just gonna look at it like a regular. I mean, I can understand it like a regular person as well. I understand the street stuff. I understand the beef. I understand they're gonna all, just end up, taking out each other, right, one by one, and taking out whoever speaks up and all that stuff, and whoever feels like they got away with it, right. So it's just kind of what they call karma, right. So I understand the street karma. I understand the politics with the black man. Everything has got to be, oh, the whole group of us got to just take out each other, and it's just the same stuff. And there's always just negativity around the community. But then I also understand this part, which is the blood sacrifices and ritualistic stuff that goes on within the industry to promote and make money in the back end. They don't care about your life because you signed it away with the contract. So if Big Juke was signed or signed some papers to Yo Gotti's collective music group, he's now controlled. His life is controlled by Yo Gotti, and whatever Yo Gotti says goes. And he's the boss man, right? So that's what I'm just saying. I'm gonna just leave it there. You guys, let me know what you think. I know nobody's gonna agree with me, and I really don't. I don't want to say I don't care because that's gonna come off as like arrogant. But this is just a dope thought to me. But anyway, let's keep it there. But rest in peace to all the affiliates that's involved, and we pray for like a better future in terms of the community and music and what music is really about, which is fighting against the oppressors, and making it poetically, like, and with poetic justice. But we don't have that. Everything is kind of the opposite. We're just targeting ourselves. But until that's over, until that's the reason why I do this type of stuff, to expose all of this, so then hopefully we can get back to that. So, peace.